Well, hello and welcome to the 11th Women's European Handball Championships, jointly hosted by Hungary and Croatia. My name's Paul Bray. Thanks for joining us here in the Audi Arena in Győr for this Group A match between the hosts Hungary and Russia. Well, earlier today, Spain beat Poland 29-22 in the opening game. And we've also had the opening ceremony in between, which has got the crowd in a fine mood here for this home nation's opening game. The table there, well, that is only temporary, as a big cheer goes up for Hungary. First appearance by the co-hosts in this brand new arena built for the perennial Hungarian champions, Győr. Now the opponents for tonight, Russia. 13 meetings between these two teams. Hungary have won 4 times, Russia 8 and 1 draw. More to the point though, in the last 4 years, Russia have won all the encounters between these teams. In fact, you have to go back 10 years to the last time Hungary hosted the European Championships for their last win over the Russians. 29-25 on that occasion in the bronze medal playoff in Budapest. And Hungary will be hoping that tonight will be their night here to make a good start in this group. The top 3 teams going through to the main round. They will merge up with Group B. I'll let you hear the hall announcer as he introduces the teams. Introductions made then for the Hungarian players. Now their bench. András Nemet, new coach since earlier this year, more about that later. Now the team of Russia. So the presentation somewhat stunted, I think, with the Russian team not coming out in number order. Never helpful for the whole camera crews. Those were the players and their coach. Well, the old bear is back. Yevgeny Trefilov back in charge of the Russian team. The referees, experienced pairing from Slovakia, Peter Brunovsky and Vladimir Kanda. Refereed at the European Championships 2 years ago and 2 years before that as well. In Denmark. The table officials are being introduced. Supervisor and observer Josip Pozavec of Croatia, Monika Hagen of Sweden. Crowd still getting to their seats. 5,000 seat, a brand new arena here in the northwest of Hungary. in time to be part of this fantastic celebration of handball over the next 2 weeks when 16 teams battle it out. And now the anthem of Hungary. Well, plenty of emotion and a few tears there for the Hungarian anthem. And now the anthem of Russia. So will the Russians maintain their winning run? Or will Hungary break that finally after 10 years and start their European campaign with a vital win here in Győr? Zuzana Tomori, the captain at the far end, turns to shake hands with Maria Sidorova, the Russian goalkeeper in charge of their team for a number of years. Tomori, of course, only a recent captain. And here is the lineup for the Hungarians, rather, who, of course, without the emblematic playmaker Gurbic, who's expecting a baby, but they've got plenty of experience in the squad. 10 players remain from the team that won bronze 2 years ago. Look out for Tomori, Zushansky and Bulat. Well, Kovacic's always a danger. There is the captain, Zuzana Tomori, 27 years of age, 126 internationals, 342 goals for the player from FTC Budapest. Always a committed attacker, may play on the right, but also happy to move across to the other side. For the Russians, after failing to qualify for the World Championships last year, they've turned to the old coach Trefilov, and it's a new broom. Only 8 players remain. Marienikova, Bliznova and Davydenko are back. A new young talent like the playmaker Dmitrieva are called up, but old hands Sidorova, Kuznetsova, though, did remain, and there is Sidorova, the 35-year-old, with 185 caps and 5 goals, unusual so many for a goalkeeper, plays for Zvezda. And a brief 2-year retirement. And there in the black is a familiar face, Katalin Palinga, legendary goalkeeper, now team manager for Hungary, and there's the coach, András Nemet. Took over very sadly, officially, from Karl-Erik Bøhn, the Norwegian, who passed away after losing his fight with leukemia in February of this year. We saw there Trefilov, coach, has taken over. So Brunowski and Kanda to officiate this opening match for the co-hosts Hungary here in Győr. So here we go then, with the second match in Group A in Győr. Russia in the all-white strip, playing from left to right, throw off this match against the Hungarian co-hosts in the all-red strip. One result already in this group earlier tonight, Spain beating Poland 29-22. And the Hungarians looking for a winning start against a team they haven't beaten in 10 years. They've had a mixed preparation, the Hungarians, for the European Championships. They won the Provident Cup back in October, that was good, beating Austria, Slovakia and the Czech Republic, also beat Romania in a friendly just before. But their last two preparation games, well, it was a win over Austria, which again you would expect, although it was a big win, but they drew with France on this very ground here just 3 days ago. The Russians, for their part, also a bit lacklustre. The last two preparation games, a draw against the Netherlands and a defeat to the Dutch, 27-25. Another free throw for the Hungarians. They played a series of warm-up games as well in October against Romania and Romania B. They got beaten by the Romanian national team. They did manage close wins against the Romanian B side, so not scintillating by any means. Looking for the line, complete misconnection. Break is on. First goal for Hungary, courtesy of Aniko Kovacic, the 23-year-old who plays for the champions Győri Eto. Oh, quick reaction. Nice breakthrough. Dmitrieva, the scorer, just 19 years of age, making her debut for Russia here. Pulled up from the team that came second at the World Under-20 World Championships last year. Looking for the line, too closely marked, it's stolen. Russia on the break now. That's a nice quick pass up front. 2-1. Kuznetsova, 27-year-old who plays for Astrakhanotska. So sprightly start by both teams, and so much so that the referees are asking the players just to try and settle down. A bit of barging going on the line, to be expected, I'm afraid, by Samoransky. Passing a little bit wayward. And Tomori just keeping it in play, trying for the long shot. It's deflected, taking the sting out. The attack is on. Oh, brilliantly done. Anna Sen. She's known to the Hungarians. She actually plays for Győri Eto. Rolls off Tomori, had no one to pass to. Took it herself, 93 kilometers an hour. Way through at the moment. They've just switched briefly, and we've got a yellow card. Makieva puts her hand up. It's going to be another free throw. The foul this time on Kinga Klivigny, 22-year-old who plays for Erdi. Second line play going in. Winger Kovacic has gone across. That's a poor shot, comfortable save for Sidorova. Wants the ball moved up quickly. Oh, looking for the line. Tomori just came through. Managed to smother the pass and drop it before she went inside the area. Well, it's a lively start, 3-1 to Russia. And the crowd doing their best to try and lift the home team. Well, both groups in Hungary being played today. The other group in Debrecen, stolen again, and that's a poor pass, and they're looking very edgy at the moment, the Hungarians, and paying the price. Kuznetsova, her second. Drops the ball in underneath the keeper, not much she could do, left completely stranded and very nervous indeed, and the Hungarians have brought in Kristina Triszczuk, number 5, into the left back position. Looking for the line, there was no pass there, lucky to keep possession. Five minutes played, 4-1, that's going to be a free throw. The arm slapped as she tried to go through Tomori. Hungarians, who finished third 2 years ago, Russia finishing 6th. Just saw András Nemet. I mentioned earlier that Karl-Erik Byrne fought the previous coach leukemia for a while, and during that time his assistant Janos Hajdu kept control of the team. Sadly, in February, Karl-Erik Byrne passed away, and András Nemet, who's been coach of the Hungarian team twice before, was asked to come in, take over again. He had retired officially after coaching Hypo Niederösterreich in Austria. Good save. Shot in the back gives possession to Hungary. So András Nemet coming in under difficult circumstances for Hungary. But at least he's an experienced coach who knows the team well. In fact, took them to bronze at the World Championships in 2005. And there's the other man on the other side, Yevgeny Trefilov, relatively quiet by his usual standards, and look at the shooting efficiency for Hungary, just 20%. That's a penalty inside the area anyway. They couldn't give the goal to Makieva, and András Nemet must be worried now. A poor start by his team, 7 minutes played, the clock still running, it's 4-1 with a penalty given. It's Elina who steps up to take the penalty. Off the post. Oh, what was she doing? The ball's still in play. Well, the Hungarians are definitely looking nervous, and no surprise that András Nemet has called a team timeout. I mean, that last action very much demonstrates it, as Budi totally unnecessarily tried to keep the ball in play when it had come off the post, and therefore would have been a throw into Hungary anyway, and very nearly gave a corner away. They just need to settle down. They've got no rhythm in attack at the moment. The defense is patchy, but actually where they're falling flat is the attacks are failing, and the Russians are hitting them on phase 1, phase 2 attacks, and they're just looking a little bit punch drunk at the moment. So let off with a penalty, and Nemet will hope that that can be the launch now for a comeback by the Hungarian team. This group will merge with Group B, which is being played simultaneously over in Debrecen, with Norway, Denmark, Romania and the Ukraine. So big names over there. There is Trefilov, who is famous for barking and screaming at his players. But if you ask them, they'd say that he does it because he really wants us to succeed, and they tell you they really, really liked him. But if you were an onlooker, it looked pretty fearsome. But he went off, was replaced by Vitaly Kokin. 6th place at the European Championships 2 years ago, and failure to qualify for the World Championships last year. Those saw the Russian Federation go back to the more direct means of coaching. Maybe the softly approach didn't work. We've got an injury, hand in the face, a follow through on the shot, and I think it may be Makieva. And the captain Sidorova looks to the bench and is saying, I think you're going to have to think about a change. It is Makieva. If she's taken it straight in the eye as well, the player's using resin on the end. If that goes in your eye, that stings like mad. There it is, follow through. And absolutely slapped her, quite accidentally, Tomori, on the follow through. So moments for Hungary, though, to contemplate what they need to do. First and foremost, settle down and not let the nerves get to them as Makijeva goes to the bench to get treatment. So the Russians can resume without too much pressure just at the moment. Looking for the wing, that was well covered. Good play by Tristrut, 9-year-old from Varos. Cuts back inside, too many steps. Hungary get possession back. To the clock, rather anxious look. Kuznetsova. Goal for nearly 7 minutes now for the Hungarians. Missing somewhat the organisational skills of the emblematic captain, of course, Anita Grbić, who with 997 goals in 204 appearances has the kind of experience you simply can't buy. Option through, good defending by Anna Sen, Hungarian-based Russian player. They're getting in too close at the moment. There's no power on the shot. The ball's loose, but it's picked up inside the area by the line player. Won't count. And Samoransky has to head back. One of the more experienced players in the Hungarian team. Was that an attacking foul, I wonder? Not given. So he's Nova at right back. Dmitrieva in the centre, young newcomer, just 19 years of age, being given a playmaker's role. Sen is at left back, and we've got an injury now on the Hungarian side as Samoransky's gone down. Trefilov able to look at the bench and looks maybe to bring on one of his young players. Newer players to the squad, I should say, which has 4 internationals to their name. There's the incident again. Oof. Elbow by Sen. And Samoransky as she turned. There is Anita Grbić sitting in the crowd anxiously. Orshoya Her, the goalkeeper, tries to spur on her team. Plenty of fight and pace to the Russians, and I'm sure that Trefilov will have told them before the game that the Hungarians have sometimes got this slight vulnerability when they play, where they do let the nerves get to them. Off the post, and Her could get nowhere near that one by Sen. It was a second from 3, didn't have much window of opportunity, but she found it. Hungarians have been known to throw away big leads when they've had matches, to all intents and purposes, won, but simply masters at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Here, though, they've just slightly choked at the beginning of the game and just need to get their pace down, settle. So Tomori has moved into the central role, looking for the line. Instead, the ball's been picked up by the Russians. It was an important block on Sen, who couldn't release the ball to anyone safely. Trefilov, very calm by his own previous standards. 5-1 then to Russia, 11 minutes played in this second match in Group A in Djur. It's an attacking foul, the line player, going in a little too hard, and picked off by Vladimir Kanda, and Hungary score courtesy of Aniko Kovacic, 23-year-old. Finally, they get scoring again. She was away so fast that the Russians just couldn't cover her. Dubrovnikova seems to be only on for defence. As Russia put in Makijeva on the line. Free throw. full width at the moment, the Russians. And they're getting bogged down in the middle. So for once, it's all working for the Hungarians as they defend superbly and in the end smother the Russian attack. That's nice. But not such a good finish, unfortunately, straight into the experienced Sidorova. That's an attacking foul. The Hungarians have found a little bit of their energy again here. Beginning to pressure the Russians. It's only 3 goals, all doable. Anita Bulat has come in. 4th top scorer in the Hungarian league, the number 10. 56 goals this season. Sushansky in the centre now. Tomori is reverted to the right-back position. Looks like she wants to switch again. Here comes the play. Oh, yes! No one went up. She was allowed to come into 8 metres. The crowd are getting going. 5-1 to Russia, has been close to 5-3. And the defence is definitely working better, but that's not going to help. It's a 2-minute suspension. Triskush looked surprised. She thought she was off, but it's not. It's Sushansky, 27-year-old from FTC. And that was why the elbow swung round. Well, Sen did the same earlier and got away with it, but that's a nice breakthrough. The extra space in the defence proving very helpful as Nemet looks on. 22 kilometers an hour, that shot by Ekaterina Ilina, 23 years of age, 6'3" then. Goalkeeper's gone off. Put on an extra court player. Trischuk, ironically Russian-born. Ah, it's gone in. Tomori. Well, the captain's doing all she can to keep it on track. Short-handed or not, she gets her second, just beyond the outreach leg of Sidorova. Still a minute, though, on the power play for Russia. There's space on the line. Missed the pass. And eventually they moved it around quickly enough that they could open up the space. Reverting to old ways again, Trefilov. They scored, he's still not happy. So 15 minutes played and Kuznetsova's goal makes it 7-4 to Russia, and that 2-minute suspension proving expensive as Trischuk comes back on with the goalkeeper's bib on. Playing it right back, as I said, born in Russia, naturalized Hungarian. 2 years ago, just in time to play the European Championship. She goes in on the line. That's bold when you haven't got a goalkeeper at the back, but goes straight off. Passive play is going to come up sooner or later because they have no ideas at the moment and are finding it very hard to break through, and the anxious looks on the bench say it all. Passive play. Tries a long-range shot, that doesn't really trouble. That seemed to be inside the area, but there you go. Referees wave play on. Too many steps. Well, they score. I'd be tempted to say there were a couple of occasions when the Hungarians might have said, well, was there not a foul? Cherno Ivanenko, the scorer, 25-year-old who plays in Macedonia for Vardar. Having closed it back to within 2 goals, the Russians have made good use of their power play with 3 goals. At least the Hungarians are now back to full strength again. Couldn't pick it back up again. Ball is loose, and the tension is just getting too much as the Russians score again. Oshora Her left absolutely stranded in goal. And once more, it's a fast break. Kuznetsova. 4 from 4 for the 27-year-old from Astrakanoshka. Playing a 99th international for Russia. She's scored 4 of their 5 fast break goals so far. Oh, mistake. Sidorova just didn't quite get behind it. And a lucky break for Bulat. Varos, although had a spell at Podravka in Croatia. Attacking foul, ran into the defender. Plenty of pace in the Russian attack. The Hungarians, though, when they get into set plays, do struggle. It's going to be a free throw. Very obvious foul on Aniko Kovacic. Shoved in the back by Anapunko, 25-year-old from Rostov-Don. And in a group that is likely to feature Norway and Denmark in the main round. Points now absolutely critical. The Hungarians know that if they can't get the points against Russia, they've got to go and fetch them against both Denmark and Norway. No easy task. Denmark, big favourites. Norway, of course, 4 times winner of the competition, although dispossessed 2 years ago by Montenegro after double extra time. Coming around, Punko goes to the other side. Good save by Herr. The ball's loose. It's going to be given to Russia. And sportingly acknowledged by Samoransky. Lisnova comes back in at the right back position. Experienced players. He's been out of the squad since the London Olympics, but called back by Trefilov. Oh, good save by Herr, but she's caught round the neck, and that's a 2-minute suspension and a penalty. Off goes Bulat. It's an easy decision for the referees. So Herr waits to see who she's going to face, and Anapunko. Herr goes the wrong way, and it's a 5-goal lead for Russia in the 19th minute. Completely beaten Herr. So again, short-handed, they put on an extra player, this time Zita Zushansky. That's a penalty. Kovacic just managed to find enough space to get through. Her arm taken. See it here, windmill feint gets in, and the defender's well inside the area. So Sidorova going off for Russia, and Anna Sedoykina will come in, the 30-year-old keeper from the champions Dinamo Volgograd. Triskud scores. 29-year-old. Russian-born Hungarian player. They're still short-handed though. Play for Russia. Lines free, but twice they've missed the passing when they had to do it. Instead it goes straight through, but inside the area, no goal. Bobrovnikova trying to find space, only had one shot. And again, back on comes Zushansky. With 2 European Championships and 2 World Championships. Hungary didn't qualify for the London Olympics. Tomori looking for the line, penalty if it doesn't go in anyway, but it does. Samoransky. Past the 20-minute mark, 3 goals in it. It's like an accordion. Team timeout, Russia. 5-goal lead, pulled back to within 3, but the problem is the Russians are fairly steady at the moment. Okay, they've not made some of their chances they could have had count, but it's the Hungarians who really are making the waves. They have moments when they're playing really well and they close the gap, and then they have moments when they make really unforced errors, which are just giving away the chances to the Russians to hit them on the break. But at times now the Russians are getting too centric in their attack as well. You can see them trying to force the middle, and they're running in constantly, trying to find that gap. And they're forgetting the width of the attack, and they've been smothered in the middle by the Hungarians, and that's when it's worked best for Hungary, when they've been able to open up the game a bit. Can they maintain the run now? 3-2 exchange. Still plenty of time, but they are still short-handed for another 12 seconds. So into the centre for Russia comes Ekaterina Ilina, 23-year-old. Looking for the wing. Oh, did well to catch it. The ball's loose. And Harris picked up the loose ball as it was about to go out of play off Tomori. And they are back to full strength. And they're changing on the line. Herrera Meisaros is coming in, number 34. Relative newcomer to the team, just 5 internationals. And they're getting a Russian welcome that brings the referee, Peter Brunovsky, forward to warn the Russian defenders. Nothing like intimidating the newcomer. Bulat, looking for the top corner, but the ball just leaving a hand a little bit too early. Mehmet frustrated. So Bliznova not being used in defence at the moment, the number 24. So much space, absolutely no one went out to her. And Bobrovnikova, 27-year-old, playing in her first major competition for Russia, scores her first goal. 22 minutes played. Hungary also brought in Ildiko Erdősi on the left wing, replacing Kovacic. Bulat, Kovacic into the line. Oh, lovely. Under the leg of the keeper. Superbly done by Bodi. Still only 3 goals in it. Bulat pushing forwards. Want to keep an eye on Bobrovnikova, who's got that big shot. Lovely hand back. And the defence just opened up very conveniently. Frustration for Hare, because the Hungarian defence is absolutely all over the place. And, comfortable goal for Bliznova. Place for Lada Toliati. Klivigny into the play now, number 15 at left back. Oh, that wasn't a bad effort, Kovacic, but well saved by Sidorova. The Russians again on that phase 2 attack, superb. Brilliant play and brilliant finish. That was class. Maya Petrova. There was a time when the Russians were known for their rather pedestrian approach to things. It was kind of stand back, get the big shots in, but they've really changed that over the last few years. There's real pace to their game, there's real excitement. Change of goalkeeper meanwhile for Hungary as we see Eva Kish come in. At the same time, Hungary pulled one back. Zita Suszanski. I think it is. And in fact, it's not. It's Kinga Klivini. So still that 4-goal difference. Good defending, though, by Suszanski. Nova, no way to the wing. Starved on the right-hand side. Here's Nova again. Again, getting into that narrow play, the Russians have got to open it up a bit more. Being sucked in by the Hungarians in the middle. Second line player drops back out again. Elina, they've lost possession. Big pass up with the Russians streaming back in position. Tomori. Goal. Well, was it? Bulat scores. Yes, the defender was on the side. And so a 5-goal lead, once more reduced to 3. Mind you, the last time that happened, the Russians went up a gear and opened up a 5-goal lead again. 5 minutes remaining in the first half, and a suspension for Bobrovnikova. She was on the side, and in fact the replay was trying to show, but we still couldn't see it. She was on the other side, giving a hefty shove on the way through. Good save, meanwhile, by Kisha, first of the game, and Hungary score! And they're on a run all of a sudden. The whole bench are up, including Palinga. The captain scored. 2 goals in it. That's more like it. They've got to build on this now. 3 goals for Tomori. 55 goals in the league so far this year. Underneath the legs of the keeper, that's nicely played by Daria Dmitrieva. Dmitrieva, big fine for Russian handball. Bit of height into the line. Again, that's nice. That's very nice. Meisaros. 20-year-old newcomer to the Hungarian team from FTC Budapest. It's her first goal at a major competition. Attacking foul again, and it's a good play by the Hungarians. They've only got a few seconds to go on the power play, though. Keep an eye behind, because they don't want the Russian player creeping on. There she comes, Sen, trying to pressure the Hungarians, pushes them back, but in the end she drops in. Back to a 6-0 defence for Russia. Less than 3 minutes remaining in the first half. So Trischuk in place of Tomori at right back. Here she comes. Into the wing. Pass just too far. Planted Erdoshi too far in the corner. Nicely stolen. Ball goes out of play. Poor pass, unfortunately, for them by Uskova, and a let-off for Hungary. Well, the crowd sense that this could be a turning point. A couple of minutes still to play in the first half. 1 or 2 more goals. That's what they need. Erdoshi comes out, runs in on the line, and scores, and it's just 1 goal in it from 5 behind. Hungary are on a roll. Erdoshi ran completely unmarked behind. They realised too late. Bliznova. Second line going in the wrong place anyway, standing right next to the other line player. Doesn't help. Surely that's an attacking foul. It's not given. Sen, who seemed to send the defender absolutely flying, but turned in the end to beat Kish. 2 goals in it. Much more settled now, the Hungarians. Got their rhythm going. 1 minute remaining. And she's got a range as well, Zita Sushansky. Seven-year-old playmaker. 45 seconds remaining. Nemet, the theatrics on the bench. "35 seconds, they'll stretch this, try and get a goal late." Goes wide, nothing given by the referee. There's plenty of time, 30 seconds remaining. The referees haven't stopped the clock. Cool heads now. Make this a nice long attack, score late and go into the half-time break level. That's the plan for Hungary. The crowd are on their feet. 5 goals down at one point. That came off the foot. The break is on. Sidorova looks up. It isn't. 5 seconds. You've got to be quick. That was a bit optimistic. And there goes the buzzer. Well, Russia lead at the break, but what a comeback by the Hungarians. You wouldn't think it looking at Nemet. 5 goals down. But a late surge by the Hungarians, and at half-time there's just 1 goal in it. It's 15-14 to Russia. Well, the Hungarians will feel that at least they've managed to steady their nerves. They're playing with a bit more passion in defence. They're really closing them down. They're forcing the Russians sometimes into that central play. But more importantly, in attack, they are looking so much more settled. 44-45% success rate on the attacks, about the same, but the Russians more successful with their shooting. 67% of their shots rather, going in against 50%. And well, we had a quick slip up there on the nations, but it will tell you that Tomori is top scoring for the Hungarians with 3 goals from 5 attempts. And it's Dmitrieva with 3 and Kuznetsova with 4, the best of the Russians. This is the play. You can see the slow start at the beginning, then the surge by the Hungarians, the blue strip at the top in that last 10 minutes, which has really turned the game around and put it back within their reach. This is where the goals are coming from. No surprise that it's 6 fast breaks. They've been hitting the Hungarians for every mistake. Nothing on the right, though, for the Russians, where they're getting no service into the four-winger. Hope she's brought a good book. The Hungarians, though, most of that's going down the middle as well, with 4 fast breaks and just the 1 penalty so far. Real up and down game. Here's the ratio. This first, the Hungarians terrible at the beginning and then getting stronger, you can see there, as the game goes on. The Russians, on the other hand, started pretty well, very good in the middle, and then tailing off a little bit at the end. So at half-time here in Győr, it's 15-14 to Russia. We'll take a break. Join us again in a few moments. Welcome back to the Audi Arena in Győr on the opening day of the 2014 Women's European Handball Championships. The co-hosts, Hungary, at half-time trailing 14-15 against Russia. The Russian team looking, of course, to regain the heyday of 3 consecutive World Championship wins, 2005, 7 and 9. Silver medal at the Europeans in 2006 and 2008, but since then, of course, the Olympic silver in 2008, but since then it's really gone downhill for them, and they struggle to find that kind of form. They're hoping that under the old hands of the bear Trefilov, they can somehow find old glories with a new style of play, fast play. Some nice new players, like Sabina and Punko and Dmitrieva. But for the Hungarians, well, it could have been so much worse, as we see there on the right-hand side, second from the right, captain Anita Gurbic, who did surprise a little wave there. Thank you. Who surprised everyone with the announcement she was expecting a baby. Absolutely delightful news, but it left Nemeth with a bit of a headache as he had to rethink his lineup. Zushansky, Triskuc, the likely players to try and cover the centre position. Hungarians, who were a bit of a surprise 2 years ago when they took bronze at the European Championships. Because they said themselves, we're not really looking for a medal, we're getting ready for when we host the championships, and that's when we want to have success. But it came 2 years earlier than expected. They were, of course, previous winners of this competition in 2000, and were also bronze medalists in 2004. Here today, they've made a very nervous start, at one point going 5 behind against a Russian team that looked far more organized and settled. But somehow they have clawed their way back into the game, the Hungarians. Could have been level even at half-time, led by their captain, Zsuzsanna Tomori, with 3 goals, a couple each from Kovacic and Bulat. And Eva Kish in goal has made 3 saves from 5. Shora Her, unfortunately, only making 2 from 15, a 13% save rate, somewhat low for her. There is Tomori, hoping that the second half will see a continuation of that turnaround in fortune for the Hungarians. Very attentive Russians there as Trefilov gives his instructions. I have to say he's very much calmer than he was in the past, the coach. He's taken over from Krokin, who had a short run, 2 years, not very successful. Tried the softly approach, and maybe that doesn't work for the Russians. And Trefilov is back. So here we go then, in this match on the opening day of Euro 2014, Hungary throwing off the second half, trailing 14-15 against Russia. Could have been worse. They're on a run now, but have they gone cold over the half-time break? Oh dear, complete misunderstanding as Sabina Maya, who'd just come in. Oh, foul, that's got to be a penalty and a 2-minute suspension, taken from behind. Zilinskite, who's also just come on, goes straight off again. That was a very short-lived entrance by the 25-year-old from Astranakoska. Let's have a look again. Took the shirt and just dragged her back. So, a chance to level it. Coolly taken, Kristina Trischuk. A rather forlorn look by the captain Sidorova, who's seen a 5-goal lead evaporate now straight through the legs. So inside the first minute of the second half, Hungary have wiped the slate clean. All square again. Aggressive deep defence, they can afford it a little bit at the moment. There's no line player to worry about. Long range shot doesn't really trouble the goalkeeper. Very optimistic shot, and that doesn't impress Trefilov one little bit. Bulat did well. Makieva cleverly planted herself right in front of Bulat, waiting for the collision, but somehow she managed to pull herself up short of giving away the ball. Would have been an attacker's foul otherwise. 1 minute to go. Tomori, oh, nearly in. Not sure if Sidorova even got a fingertip to it, might have done enough to put it onto the crossbar. So in the centre, Dmitrieva, newcomer to the team, the 19-year-old, youngest there, first major competition, and she's entrusted with the playmaker's role in the Russian team. That's confidence. Nikova wants the players back again, a relative newcomer as well. Saved. And Kish doing really well in goal. 27-year-old from Hehervar into the wing. Good angle, oh, through the legs again. And Hungary, from 5-10 down, are 16-15 up now. Budi, the scorer. Second goal for her. Russia are back to full strength, none too soon for them, as Ksenia Makieva, who plays for Bayamare in Romania, goes in on the line. Looking for the wing, it's stolen. Oh, she's managed to put it back in play again, and they've just kept possession. Thought she'd given it away for a second. Got to look backwards. Again, they're showing so much more coolness under pressure now, the Hungarians. Bulat earlier not giving that attacking foul. And on this occasion, Sushansky realizing the ball had to go backwards rather than try and force it into the break when there was none there. Sabina Maya. Oh, and we've got another 2-minute suspension, and it's just gone all wrong for Russia. Makieva is off. And that's why, a little too obvious, she lets go, but the harm is done. It's a bit more space now for Sabina Maya on the line. And suddenly, the Russians looking frail. Oh, it's a 2-goal lead. And they have managed to keep the kettle on the boil. That's fantastic. There's always that worry when you're on a good run that you have half-time and you come out and the bad habits reappear. Kovacic makes it 17-15, another 3-0 exchange. Helped, of course, in no small measure by 2 consecutive suspensions. Good play, penalty given. Defending inside the area, say the referees. The foul on Daria Dmitrieva. Bulat, used as a defence specialist. Well, was it? Nicely taken though, Ekaterina Davydenko. First goal of the game for her, one of the experienced players. Off the post, oh, it stays out. Well, they've had a couple of long-range shots that just wouldn't quite work. Planeta this time. 21-year-old, another one playing in her first major competition, showing no signs of nerves. Russia still short-handed, no line player for the moment. The Hungarians push up. Free throw, she wasn't in control of the ball, Uskova. One of the players called back by Trefilov since he's come back in. He had him in his old, or had her rather in his old squad. But fell out of favour with Krokin. The crowd trying to unsettle the Russians as the referee's hand goes up. Passive play being won. Davydenko moves back again. Is she teeing up for a big shot? Petrova on the line. Bobrovnikova. She tries it. Did it come off the fingertips? It did. It's a corner. Bobrovnikova will go and take it herself, 27-year-old. Oh, zero angle, leave it. Comes off the player inside the area anyway after that. Well, inspired choice bringing Eva Kishin, 67% save rate. It's an attacking foul anyway, I think by Maya, before Tomori got there, and Trefilov reverting to type and getting more and more worked up on the bench. It's still finely balanced here. A 3-1 exchange so far, and the Hungarian shooting efficiency moving up the rankings slowly, and you could only go upwards really from 20% in the first 10 minutes. Oh, beautifully done on the shot, and just waited Dmitrieva straight through the legs of the keeper. It's all square again. Awkward shot as she was moving away from the goal to shoot across the body. Such an important game this, the very first one of the tournament for these two teams, and yet the loser knows that with Norway and Denmark awaiting them in the main round, these are points you need if you want to make it through to the semis. Blocked, ball's loose. It's going to be Russian, is it? No, it's given to Hungary. Kuznetsova. And a good grip on it. Tomori happy playing left or right back. Dispossessed unfairly, and sporting gesture there from the Russian defender. Acknowledges her mistake. Tries again, and second time blocked once more. Zushansky, the Russians on the break. Goalkeeper went down, and Uskova shoots over the top, and the Russians have regained their composure. 3 goals without reply. Well, I was just about to say that now might be a good time to get Zushansky off, because she's shooting too early, and they've done just that. Kovacic back on. Tomori defending inside the area. She found the gap, forced it through. Tomori started at right back, unusual for a right-handed player, but that's where she's comfortable playing as well. But equally strong at the left-back position. She's the 5th top scorer in the Hungarian league with 55 goals, and that's why. Change the keeper then. Russia once more bring in Sedoykina. This is Tristchuk. Under the keeper's leg. And once more level. 8.5 minutes played, all square here in this crucial game. The hand off the defence much deeper now, even with Russia back to full strength. That's nice. Great shot. Bobrovnikova playing just her 5th international for Russia, first major competition. And the 27-year-old's impressive. Planeta has come in at right back. Kovacic in the centre. They're trying to shuffle the deck a little bit here, see if they can kick-start it again. Planeta, and her arm taken. Why did they do that, the Russians? She was moving to the outside of the area. It was going to be difficult for her to shoot anyway. Right-handed. She just managed to change it over to her shooting hand. Conceded the goal. Tristchuk puts Hungary back in front again, where if they'd left her, she'd have gone down quicker and wouldn't have had time to change hands. Loose ball. The Russians come away with it. Stolen. And played back. That's more like it. Longer pass. Oh, underneath the keeper, beautifully done. She was almost on the ground before she let the ball go. That was class by Erdoshi. 25-year-old. Look at this. Completely off balance. She realised the line was coming right up. So initially the Russians were peppering the Hungarians with the fast break goals, and now it's getting level. Stolen. The Russians still have it though. Good save. Find a way through. Oh! Mistake by Tomori. And Dmitrieva tested her. She let her go through. So over the 10-minute mark then in the second half, it's all square here. 20-all as Dmitrieva gets her 5th goal, top scoring. In her first official international for Russia. Back in front they go. There's no holding them back. Udi the scorer. Third goal for her. Tomori, she's got a hold of this time. Once more she got away. She's got to be careful, Tomori. Dmitrieva is a real handful. She's so quick, but she's always going right. She needs the player on the other side just to be there to help her all the time. Or just needs a bit of mopping. Well, 10 years since Hungary last beat the Russians. European Championships in Budapest, as it happens. The Russians who qualified for the European Championships from Group 7, a 3-team group, so a bit smaller than the others, came through with Germany. Each lost away to each other, with Macedonia the team that missed out. And it's the other newcomer to the Russian team, Bobrovnikova, who scores, levels it again. The whole defence moved across. Bulat felt she had to follow the line player, and it just left the door open. They shouldn't try and move Tomori back to the right-hand position and bring Tristchuk back in at left-back. Sen looking for the line and defending inside the area, and a 2-minute suspension as well to Planeta. 21-year-old from Giorieto. Davydenko. She beats Eva Kish, and Russia edge ahead once more. 2 from 2 at the 7-meter line. Dummies one way, and Kish nearly got it. Without the goalkeeper once more, they put on the extra player in attack. Bulat comes on with the goalkeeper's bib. Keeps things balanced at this end, but if you lose possession, of course, the goal's empty down the far end. Goes in on the line, just as she did last time before going off. Solid defending, nowhere for Kovacic to go, but she gets the free throw. And once more, Bulat comes in. It's dangerous as she goes off to the left-hand side. You think you put someone on who's going to play on the right, so they're close to the bench for a quick change. Tomori. Face, but Tomori makes nothing of it. Came off a defender. That'll be a throw-in from the corner. They keep possession, but passive play is going to come up sooner or later. At the moment it has. The referee's arm is up. Shot needed by the and again goes down, I think more across the chest than across the neck for Tomori. Sen checks on Tomori. Andras Nemeth well scratch his head. They've lost a little bit of momentum. It's close. So passive play, quick shot needed. 3 meters back, please, say the referees. Oh, so close to Kempe. Long ball out for the Russians, though. scores. Well, a valiant attempt to block Sen. And Kovacic saying, well, that was an attacking foul. I marked my ground, but I'd probably say, well, you were still on the move as you came in on the block. And it's the right call by the referees. 23-21. The Hungarians will be back to full strength, though, in just about 10 seconds. Bulat has come on anyway. She does exactly the same thing. Runs to the line, goes across, and comes back out again. Ball not good enough, I'm afraid, to give her a shooting chance. Tomori looks for the lob. The ball's loose. She's managed somehow to give it. Yes! Penalty. Defending inside the area. Just as Hungary get back to full strength again. Sporting hand up by Sen, who knows she was at fault. The foul on Samoransky. Planeta hesitated briefly, but there's no doubt Sen was inside. So Sedoikina comes back in again, the 30-year-old from Dinamo Volgograd. Once more, Tristruk steps up. Unlucky for Sedoikina. She may even have got a hand on it. 5 from 5 though for Tristruk. She did. It must have touched the hand on the way in. 1 goal in it then midway through the second half. Oh, brilliant play. What a save by Kish. Still with Russia though. Well, in fact, it's Blanca Biro who's come in. Oh, and again goes wide. So caught up in the first action that should have mentioned that Biro was in on the last attack as well. Newcomer to the team, 20 years of age, the Hungarian keeper. And 6 internationals to her name, one of the newcomers. Tomori throwing everything into this. Saved again, ball's loose. This time it's looked like the Hungarians may have stolen it back, but in fact the Russians had possession once more. Courtesy of Bobrovnikova, threw herself down on it. Shot efficiency 62% for the Russians, is going back up again. Hungarians 54%, where it's been since about midway through the first half. Clever, because she was running out of steps, and a pass to the centre would have risked interception. Hungarian fans, certain amount of tension, trailed by 1. Looking for the pass in. Line player Maya was still on her way through to where she should have been. Luckily, though, the foul on Tomori keeps possession. Planeta. Oh, went in, a sideways shot almost. Went to bring her arm up, realised she couldn't do that. And it was a hip-height shot in the end by Planeta. Sidorova didn't get across to cover. It's all square again here in Djur. Not for long though. The response comes from Anapunko. Well-timed pass. "12 minutes remaining. Hungarians, after that dreadful start, 5 goals down in the first half at 1.20% success rate on their shooting. What a turnaround. Will it all be for nothing if the Russians can hang on here? Oh, straight into the keeper. She did all the hard work. ball's loose, but the Russians will get there first, will they? No! Brilliant play! Meisarosh. And scored by Kovacic. Miro makes the save. But Meisarosh fought for the ball. Everyone else gave up, but she didn't. All square again. 24 all, 11 minutes remaining. Line's not free, she's still calling for it. Instead, though, straight through the legs of the keeper. And once again, Dmitrieva. 6 goals for the youngster. Never played in a major competition for the senior team. Two-minute suspension, meanwhile, for Kristina Tristruk. So they've got to keep it together now, not let the Russians pull away. Long attacks are needed this time. Trefilov trying to contain his anxiety on the bench. Once more, Bulat is on with the orange bib, a run around the line and an exit. Oh yes! Penalty! Defending inside the area, the fault for number 19, Makieva. On Planeta, the Giurietto right back. Zilinskite will feel she should probably have stopped her first. Sedoikina comes in. Clock is stopped just shy of the 10-minute mark in the game. Kovacic will take it, the 23-year-old winger from Giurietto. Oh, again, she touched it. Sedoikina got a hand to it, but it wasn't enough, and short-handed or not, Kovacic has levelled it. Ten minutes to go then. Finely balanced here in Djur. I was hugely impressed by Bobrovnikova and Dmitrieva, the new face of Russian handball. They've been so impressive. Team timeout, Russia.
Максимум выхода 6, 7,5 метров для того, чтобы войти линейно. Никто на 9 даже на эту сторону не бегает. Знаете, когда вам нужна.
Some of the players are absolutely petrified.
Что проблема? Ваша задача
to staring at shoelaces. If you're lucky enough, you can hide behind him. Liznova's approach. And the calmer approach of Andres Nemeth, in charge of the Hungarian team for the third time. He retired last year, but under the circumstances, agreed to come back. Nice touch that he took Katalin Palinga, Hungarian goalkeeper who retired recently after 248 appearances for her country as team manager. That was a good move. So it really is finely balanced here. Hungary still short-handed for about 50 seconds. Ah, through the keeper. Biro. Second time. Dmitrieva. So impressive. Bulat is in. A run past the line. She's going to do it this time. Oh, dispossessed. And Planeta hangs on for all she's worth, knowing that the goal's empty down the far end. They've managed to get the substitution made. No, they haven't. Bulat is in goal. Well, that was one of the easier shots then for the Russians, as the Hungarians had no time to substitute keeper. Makieva, the scorer. 2-goal lead restored for the Russians. Team timeout for Hungary. They've just got back to full strength. And it's that 10-year wait for a win over Russia. to have to be put on hold. There's no doubt that they are missing Anita Gürbitz. Players not in the team at the moment. Well, Orshoya Verten, left winger, not selected either, or for that matter, Redei Shos, the right back. Hungarians know the importance of this game, as do the Russians. The Russians who failed to qualify for the World Championships last year. It was the death knell for Vitaly Kokin in terms of his being replaced by Trifilov, going out to the Netherlands after having beaten the Netherlands away. They managed to get thrashed 33-21 by the Dutch back home and failed to go to the World Championships. Oh, and that's going to be a penalty. Well, you might argue if that's a penalty, it should be a 2-minute suspension because it's tipping from the far side. Let's see it again. Yeah. And the foul on Ildiko Erdoğan. Certainly a penalty. And lucky it wasn't more. Sedoikina, she's touched the last 2 penalties but hasn't kept them out. Trishchuk again. Maintains her record from the 7-meter line, 6 from 6. They're back within 1. Just under 8 minutes remaining. The Russians still holding the lead. The Hungarians have gone to a very deep defense. Steal the ball. Still in play. They had a chance, but Erdoğan got herself into an awkward angle. Shot straight on the keeper. Oh, miss at the other end. Punko and Trefilov can't believe it. Hungarians playing, are they? Maybe just a little too fast for their own good. They're trying to step up to the pace, like the Russians, but it's not necessarily the way they want to be doing it. Planeta, it's in. Another mistake by Sidorova, got a hand to it, but just didn't get fully behind it. Palinga high fives are on the way back, and they're level once more. What a game. Came off her face, in fact, on the rebound. 6.5 minutes remaining, into the wing, big angle. Oh, saved, and a brilliant one. Biro. 20-year-old making a 4th save from 8 shots. Tension is palpable in the arena. Zushansky goes in, comes back out again. Planeta looks to the line, yes! They're back in front. Maya. Looks like an early Christmas present. 6 minutes to go, the Hungarians on the cusp of a historic win after 10 years of waiting against the Russians. Still finely balanced, could be anybody's, goes wide. Zushansky desperately trying to backtrack to cover against Bliznova, who was driving in. Actually trips her on the way through. Bliznova holding her leg. Seems to be all right. Biro staying focused at the back. Just 20 years of age, 7th international only for Hungary. She's played her part as well. Trying to corner the back player, nearly did. Line's free only briefly, and they're pushing them further and further back. The line's covered. Attacking foul, good defense, Hungary. And wisely, they didn't try and push the ball up. Both players up front were closely marked, but they would just give them enough space to tempt the pass, the Russians. But they didn't go for it. 5 minutes to go. Hungary lead by 1. Superb defence on that last one. Oh, confidence is up. Unfortunately, the accuracy isn't for Planeta. Sidorova, long pass down. But they pull up a bit. Deep defence working really well. Tomori is back. Tries to break through. Another attacking foul. Bobrovnikova shoulders in to Triskuc and gets an earful from Trefilov. Another goal now would just put that pressure on the Russians, keep them on the back foot. Tomori is back on again after a bit of a rest. Slots back in at right back. In the process, she tempts Dmitrieva to come out a little. Into the wing, she's backing in. Got to be careful you don't give possession away on an attacking foul. Triskuc comes out. Trying to hand off. He just needed a quick backflip into the winger. But that's easier said than done when you're down there. It doesn't look quite that obvious. Triskuc fouled anyway, and the clock's still running down. Triskuc goes to the centre. Here for the Hungarians for the first time 2 years ago at the European Championship. It's going to be a penalty, defending inside the area. Well, Palinga optimistically goes for the 2-minute suspension. Triskuc is down. 29-year-old Trefilov is slowly blowing his top. Fuse has been lit for him as Triskuc looking very winded. He's a bit stunned at the moment. Bobrovnikova, who got that ear bashing from Trefilov. Newcomer to the Russian team. She's not a youngster, mind you. 19 and you get the full wrath of Trefilov. It must be a bit soul-destroying, but most of these judges, they can take it. I hope so, for his sake. Well, Triskuc can't take it. Obviously, she's injured. Kovacic delays slightly and scores, and it's a 2-goal lead for Hungary. The pressure is on, and the crowd are lifted. 2 from Kovacic. There's the dummy. Three minutes, and they've kept the Russians out for nearly 6 minutes now. Turned the game around again, just as they did in the first half. Late surge, and the Russians under pressure. The defence, this 3-3 defence effectively, with 3 of them on 9 meters, has really pressured the Russians. Free throw, clock still running down. Team timeout, Russia. Trefilov just wants to make sure his players aren't panicking in the face of this very deep defence. They've got 3 defenders right up in their face, and it's forcing them back. And they've kept that defence up their sleeve right up until the latter stages of the second half, the Hungarians. Well, a must-win game for these teams. Remember, they'll be merging with Group B, Norway, Denmark, Becken. And the way it works in the main round is the top 2 teams in each of the main round groups go through to the semis. So you need to take the points through with you. Top scorers there for Hungary, Triskuc 6, Kovacic 5, Bordi next top scorer on 3. They're about to resume. Can Russia snatch it back here? Get what could be a critical draw. There's enough time, 2.5 minutes. And they've given possession away. Did it come off the foot of a defender? It did. Sushansky. Possession stays with the Russians, 2.5 minutes. Passive play that had been called against the Russians. Tomori manages to do enough, but she's off. 2-minute suspension, and now a chance for Russia. She looks calm, but inside she must know it. When she comes back on again, there will be 18 seconds remaining. Could this be the turning point for the Russians? They've got to keep their heads. The defense has to go back to 5-0. Oh, and a brilliant save! Biro keeps their chances alive, but still possession with Russia. 2 minutes. Ah, attacking foul. Trisuk. And Hungary now need the slowest attack they've had in the game so far. Trefilov knows it. He's got to force them somehow. How adventurous does he want to be in defence? But one or two players up in the middle. Well, a poker face from Gurbitz. No one's coming up on the Russian side. They seem to be sitting back and waiting, and if they do that, Hungary will happily run the clock down. Bulat comes on. No goalkeeper at the other end. Bulat's going off. Tristruk. Ball stolen. Have they even got their goalkeeper back in again? Sen. And nothing that Biro could do. They've got one back. There's only one goal in it. And still 1 minute on the Russian power play. Just what Nemeth didn't want them to do. Sen scores. His fifth goal for Sen. 1 minute remaining and one goal in it. How long will the referees go also before passive play? Bulat is going off again. It's getting very, very untidy. Oh, and a terrible shot over the top. Zushansky losing patience, and back come the Russians, still on a power play. 2 on the line. The winger goes back out again. Kuznetsova thought she was going to stay for a while. Makayeva on the line. 15 seconds, they're back to full strength, but a chance for Russia! They're level! 10 seconds to go, team timeout for Hungary. What an expensive 2-minute suspension that was for Tomori. 2 goals up, and there's the equaliser. What a finish. Bobrovnikova, well, deservedly, she's had a great game, scoring a 3rd goal. What can they do in 8 seconds? They have to bear in mind as well, they don't want to force it too much, lose possession and get hit on the break. Bulat still has the goalkeeper's bib on. Are they going to go all out for a win? Trefilov collecting himself now to give his instructions to his team to make sure they don't concede that goal in these dying seconds after that great comeback by them. Tomori, who raced on after her 2-minute suspension. They're waiting, they're pushing right up. That was clever play. Blocked, and that'll be enough. And there it is, it's a draw. So close for Hungary. But in the end, the Russians came back. They kept their cool after Tomori got sent off, and the points are shared. Well, the Russians, you can see the relief on the face, even though they led for much of the game. They do feel lucky, and it's a 29-all draw here in Győr. Well, this could be an important result for the Russians in terms of their chances of going through, but the teams knew that they had to take full points through when you've got Norway and Denmark up next in the main round. It's going to make life difficult for them. Well, after what looked like a lackluster start to the game, Hungary looked so nervous early on. 20% success rate on their shooting. They went 5 down and then somehow got a 2-goal lead in the second half, completely turned the game on its head. But right at the end, the Russians just managed to pull it out of the bag and level, courtesy of Bobrovnikova. Dmitrieva, hugely impressive as well for the Russians. So player of the match, and for Hungary it's Triskuc, 6 goals from 8 attempts, all penalties. But he was also organisational skills at the back, tough defending. Well, Daria Dmitrieva, in her very first major competition with the senior team, just 19 years of age, the youngest player here, and she picks up player of the match for the Russians. 7 goals from 9 attempts for her, 78% success rate. That is fabulous. And you can see that this means so much more for the Russians, who may have thought that game had escaped them. For Hungary, they've got to pick themselves up after feeling that they were so close to breaking that 10-year spell that the Russians have had on them. Look at the attacks, 48-49%, about the same on the success rate for the attacks, but the field throws, 59% success rate for Russia compared to 47 for the Hungarians. In the end, wasn't enough. Dmitrieva, player of the match for Russia, best scorer for them with 7, Triskuc 6, all from the 7-meter line. Kovacic the next best scorer. And here's the picture of the game, and you can see how right at the end in that second half, unfortunately the Russians dried up, but then scored those 2 late goals, and that made all the difference. In the end, a relatively good spread down the middle and on the wings for the Hungarians. For the Russians, well, it's all down the middle, it's on the line, and it's also 10 fast breaks. And this is the ratio. Well, it's been an exciting first day here, a win for Spain and a draw between Hungary and Russia. It's all left this group fairly wide open at this stage. We'll be back in a couple of days' time here in Geur. Hope you've enjoyed the match in the meantime, but for now, from me, Paul Bray, goodbye.